Most guys treat their fitness with a check the box mindset, and they've been walking around with the same mediocre body for 5 years. Okay, but I coach my clients differently, and it's using something that I call the grit method. Okay, and in this video, we're gonna talk about the grit method. I'm gonna show you why I believe in it. I'm gonna show you why I've been able to use it to just get my clients awesome results and create complete identity transformation. Okay, and really, it comes down to 2 different things that we'll talk about. Okay, one is gonna be exercise, okay, and the second is gonna be nutrition. Okay, when it comes to exercise, there's two parts. There's gonna be hypertrophy. Okay, so before you panic, hypertrophy is really just a fancy way of saying building muscle. Okay, so it's literally just training to develop muscle. That just so happens to be that one subject I just know way too much stuff about. Like, I do not really know anything about HIIT training. I don't know anything about CrossFit. Like, I'm not good at a lot of things, but I am an expert on hypertrophy. I've spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours just studying the science behind muscle growth from world-class exercise physiologists. My coach is Chris Beardsley. You probably don't know who that is, but he's like the #1 exercise physiologist in the entire world, who is just an absolute master who understands the science behind muscle growth. And he's the one that taught me everything. I did Zoom calls with him for like a year, where he just pulled back the curtain and just showed me with data and science how muscle growth works. And I've been able to relay it to my clients in very simple ways to understand. And that's gonna be a big intention in this video. And what we're gonna talk about next is I wanna help you understand how hypertrophy works, but in a very simple way that you can actually use to your advantage. Okay, so we're gonna talk about hypertrophy. We're also gonna talk a little bit about cardio, okay, which we'll go after next. So let's start with the hypertrophy pillar. Follow me, fellas. All right, guys, so when it comes to understanding hypertrophy, there's an incredibly important concept that I want to transfer to you right now. And it's understanding something called gritty reps. Okay, so really, gritty reps is just my way of kind of explaining this important idea. Okay, and it's really just the last 5 reps before failure on a set that actually create muscle growth. Okay, so I call them the gritty reps because, you know, when you're doing a set, you know, the first few reps, it's like not that hard, it's not that gritty, it's not that challenging. But then once you get towards the end, where you're getting near failure, it really starts to get gritty. And it really starts to feel like a challenge. Those are the most important reps for building muscle, right? So if you just have a check the box mindset and you're just kind of coming in, like doing the same stuff that you've been doing for years, right? Maybe the stuff that your old trainer taught you, or stuff that you learned like when you were younger, right? And you're not actually doing those gritty reps, you're not doing those challenging reps before failure, you're missing the whole point. You could be coming in literally just wasting your time or just maintaining, hitting that plateau. But when you understand how the gritty reps works, that's how you can make sure that you're actually progressing and you're actually building muscle as effectively as you can. So I'm like, that's a big reason why I call it the grit method, is because I just freaking love the gritty reps. I'm what you might call a gritty master. And if you keep up with my content and watch my other YouTube videos, then you probably understand a lot more about how gritty reps work. Honestly, I encourage you, you know, when you're done with this video, maybe check out some of my other videos where I just go through live gritty workout. You can really understand how the gritty reps works in detail. But we're gonna kind of cover it from a high level, right? So when it comes to understanding the gritty reps, really here's the first idea. Like, what you've probably been doing is you'll come in, you'll put on a weight. Probably you're not even tracking how much weight you've been doing. You're just kind of throw a weight on there and you're kind of like go really slow. So you might put like a kind of like light weight on, or maybe like a medium weight, and you'll kind of like do something like this. You'll kind of go really slow and you're gonna go for a lot of reps. You're probably doing anywhere between like 10, 12, maybe even 15 reps, right? You're really just kind of making your muscles burn, right? And you're gonna do like a lot here, right? Think about it, I'm still not even getting to the gritty reps, right? So if I'm doing a set to 10, 12, 15, and it's really just the last 5 before failure that create muscle growth in the first place, think about how much extra stuff I'm doing. It gets so redundant. I'm not actually getting to the meaningful reps, right? So if you wanna actually break through your plateau, actually come in and make sure like, hey, I'm actually getting really good bang for my buck with each thing that I'm doing. I'm not just wasting my time in the gym. You want to select a heavy enough weight that you're going to get to those gritty reps, ideally earlier rather than later. Why would I want to do a set to 15, do 10 reps that are pointless to then get to the 5 important reps if I just pick a little bit heavier weight and just get to the important reps earlier? Okay, so The gritty reps, it's all about understanding first that it's the last 5 reps, okay? Now what you're gonna notice though, you're probably thinking, Jake, I'm a little bit afraid to go super heavy because I did that before, you know, and I hurt myself, right? But here's the thing, it's a lot more dangerous to go heavy on very complicated exercises. So I wouldn't feel very hard to get the gritty reps if you're doing a barbell squat or a deadlift or a barbell bench that requires a lot of coordination, right? But the thing is, for you, you probably don't care about like being the most coordinated dude, right? Like none of my clients are like Olympic athletes, right? So it's at the same time, it's a lot easier to get those last 5 reps when we just focus on simple exercises. Okay, what's a simple exercise? Machines. Machines are the best. It really helps us get that simplicity. Okay, some of my clients, to be fair, do some home workouts. It's not going to be quite as optimized, but you still can find some simple at-home stuff. But really, when it comes to simplicity, I'm looking for machines, and I'm looking for like just easy exercises. Okay, like there's this misinformation that's spread that like the harder the exercise feels, the better it is for building muscle. Right? So for example, people will be like doing squats and they'll be like, you can't put a barbell pad on this bar if you want to get maximum gains. Right? Think how dumb that is. Right? What sense does that make? Right? So like one person would do a squat and they're putting this bar on their back and it just hurts their back. The metal bar is just pinching into their traps and they're just in pain. And then they're like, oh, that's gonna help you build muscle more than if you put a pad on your back. What sense does that make? Why would I want to intentionally make it more painful if I could put just a pad on there and make it feel more comfortable? If it's more comfortable and it's easier, that's gonna mean I have more effort to spend towards getting the gritty rep, towards actually training the muscles that I'm trying to target. So all that whole paradigm of like, you gotta really make it painful, like the no pain, no gain, is all bullshit, right? It's actually the easier, the more simple, the easier it is to get the gritty reps. The gritty reps are what build muscle, not the pain, not the burn, right? So you gotta be careful with there's so much cap out there, especially with a lot of these like meatheads, like the guys that are taking steroids. They're just over here just like spending 2-3 hours in the gym. Like that's not you. And if that is you, click off this video, because I don't serve anybody that has that mindset. I just serve guys that are actually like just focused on their career and they want in a very effective way to stay on top of their health and just step into their true potential and just feel that confidence and that radiance that is their birthright. So that is your birthright, right? So I'm going to show you guys what I would do on here, and let's make sure that it hits all the gritty rep parameters. First of all, is it a machine? Yes, I'm on the Smith machine. I would never do a barbell. Why would I want to spend all the extra effort balancing this barbell? It doesn't matter. Might as well use a machine. It's easier. So that means I can get to those last 5 reps before failure a lot easier. It's a lot safer too. So checks off that box, machine. Okay, so it's easy and simple. Okay, now we want to make sure that we put a weight on here that's going to get us near failure. Ideally, I like to get near failure as close to 5 as possible, because I just like being as efficient as I possibly can, right? Some of my clients, they'll do sets to 6, 7, 8, right? And just be slightly less efficient. But generally, the more they practice, they tend to get closer and closer to 5. But sometimes there's a little bit of a learning curve, but that's totally okay. But we're not gonna do supersets, drop sets, chase the burn, make our muscles ache with pain and go through torture. Hell no. We are gonna be super gritty. We're gonna get those 5 reps before failure, and we're gonna be very patient. Okay, so watch this, guys. This is exactly what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna add a 25 on each side here. All right, so now, just by adding more weight, now everything else is gonna be the same. I'm still gonna keep perfect form. I know what you're thinking. Jake, I don't wanna go too heavy because I heard it's not good to be an ego lifter. Well, yeah, it's obviously not good to cheat your form. Just because we're going heavy doesn't mean I want you to cheat your form. I never said that, okay? Your form is the foundation. Still keep great form, but we just want to pick a weight that we can push our hardest with every rep, but we're getting right near failure, ideally as close to 5 as possible. Okay, so watch this, guys. I'm not gonna manually control this. I'm not gonna have to make this go slow on its own. It's gonna go slow just because it's a heavy weight. Okay, so watch this, guys, okay? You guys ready? This is what I like to call gritty time. Gritty time, let's get in. So I'm pushing my hardest with every rep, guys. It was slowed down just because it's heavy. I didn't make it go slow on its own. Gritty, see that? That's gritty. So these are all the important reps. These are all building muscle. These are all effective reps. See that? So that's like just cutting out all the fluff from the set and just getting right to the sauce. All those reps build muscle. So see how you can just like compress time you can just skip out on all like the extra bullshit and just get right to what actually matters. So for you, who's like a career focused type of dude, if you want to come in the gym and not just feel like you're checking a box, but actually know like, man, I'm making the most of my time and actually getting a lot of bang for my buck with my workout and actually making gains, then you can like just focus on these gritty reps, super efficiently train. Like sometimes most of my clients get out of the gym in like 35 to 45 minutes, right? Because these sets are so high quality, they're so gritty, you don't need to do a bunch of them. Like a lot of my workouts from myself and from my clients will be anywhere between like 10 to like 16 total sets, somewhere in that range. So you might do 10 really gritty sets, but they're all super high quality. That's like the equivalent of doing like 30 mid sets, right? So 10 really good sets, I would prefer that over like a 40 set workout, but a lot of those sets are just overkill, redundant. You get diminishing returns on each set that you do, right? So imagine right here, imagine like a pencil, right? So imagine I had a pencil here, right? Like let's say you just sharpen a pencil. It's nice and pointy, right? It's gonna work very well right when you sharpen it. But then the more you use it, as time goes on, it starts to get more and more dull. Until eventually it just loses its effectiveness and it's just a nub. You can't write with a pencil that's a nub, right? So you kind of get like these diminishing returns, right? So if this was like the effectiveness of the pencil and this was like the usage, the more you use it, the less effective it becomes. Okay, the reason I bring that up is the exact same thing with training any muscle in a workout. If the usage was like the amount of sets, you always get diminishing returns the more sets that you do. So let's say this was like 1 set, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get diminishing returns the more sets that you do. Right? So you always get the best effectiveness, the best bang for your buck on like those first couple really gritty sets, right? So what you'll notice because of that, when you understand that, you realize, oh shoot, I don't need to do, 4 different exercises, 3 sets of 10 to 12 on my chest every time I come into the gym to train chest. I would much rather you do 1 to 2 really gritty looking sets like I just did, but space that out throughout the week. So you're doing those really good bang for your buck sets, but then you space it out. Maybe I'm gonna do that on Wednesday or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I have 3 times throughout the week where I'm doing 2 really gritty sets. That's how you can just get such good bang for your buck. Be super tactical with your workouts. You don't just get like this crazy soreness just from like blasting your muscles and putting yourself through torture. So way more effective, way more optimal, way more gritty. Yes, sir, let's go. So this is exactly how hypertrophy works. This is how gritty reps works. And once you see it, guys, you can't unsee it. I promise you. If you go to the gym and you really train this way, you just focus on getting those gritty reps. You take long rests before your workout. I think that is the other thing I'll add on here is long rest, right? So taking short rests, like if building muscle was like cutting through a steak, when you're not taking enough rest, that's kind of like cutting through a steak using a butter knife, right? Imagine I was trying to cut through a steak using a butter knife, right? You're going really fast. You're not taking a lot of rest between each cut, but that knife is so dull that you're barely making a dent in the steak, right? So like, right, if I have like this little butter knife, it's so dull, right? But imagine they're using the gritty reps. When I'm taking a long rest, I'm just focusing on the last 5 reps and I'm doing a simple move. That's like using a freaking sharp steak knife, okay? So the steak knife is super effective with every cut, right? So it's like you're doing a super effective cut and then you take a long rest, you sharpen the knife, and then you do a super effective cut and you sharpen the knife, and then you repeat, right? So it's not just about spamming, it's not just about doing more, going through that grind, right? With the dull butter knife, it's just about being smart, right? Using the steak knife. Hell yeah. So this is how the hypertrophy part of the grit method works. I told you guys, I don't know a ton about a lot of things, but I do know a ton of stuff about the science behind building muscle. Way too much stuff. Probably because I've served over 3,000 personal training sessions in my life. I've served hundreds of clients. I've spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours in studying how this stuff works from like the best of the best. So I'm not just like bullshit. I'm not yapping for no reason. Like this is actually like real. This is why I have a bunch of muscles, because I do this, okay? And why I really don't have to train that much. I only train like 4 times throughout the week, between 45 minutes, roughly around that. And I make awesome gains. It's because I'm actually doing the right stuff, right? So this is how the hypertrophy part of the grit method works. Next thing we're gonna go through is we're gonna talk a tiny bit about cardio. Hell yeah. Let's get it, guys. Let's go find some cardio. Okay, guys, so remember the grid method, exercise and nutrition. We just went really deep on hypertrophy. The whole goal of hypertrophy, this is just about building muscle. Okay, but now we're gonna be talking about the other pillar of exercise, which is just cardio. Okay, and cardio gets such a bad reputation. People think of cardio, they think of like, huffing and puffing and like putting their body through pain. But my biggest thing with cardio that I always teach my clients and that I apply for myself is sustainability, guys. Okay, so it's not about doing whatever's just most exhausting. Like, I really don't give a shit how many calories you're expending in every cardio session and just being maniacal about tracking all of that and like, okay, this is something I have to do. Like, this is like a chore. More so just treat cardio as like, hey, like, do I want to be just an active type of person, or do I want to be just like a stagnant, lazy type person? And if the answer to that is like, hey, I just want to be an active person, there's so many ways that you could just be an active person that's very sustainable. Okay, so some people I know, like my client Lee, he just likes to do the elliptical for like 20 to 40 minutes after his lifts, right? But then I have other clients like Ricky that he just likes to do a long walk or play basketball, right? So it's not about doing whatever's the most intense. It's just about finding, hey, what can I see myself wanting to do consistently that can fit into my lifestyle where I'm not really worried about like, you know, building muscle, but this is just about pushing my body, training my cardiovascular system, right? And just being an active type of person. Right? So for me, like I'm right over here, I'm on Riverwalk. This is one of my favorite places to do cardio. I like to do like little jogs or little walks, right? Or sometimes runs, right? So we're just gonna walk here on Riverwalk. This is exactly what I do to fulfill my cardio pillar, right? So I do my gritty reps, let's say like, you know, 4 times a week. And then I do my cardio another, like maybe on my off days when I'm not doing my gritty rep, right? So it could be something so simple, guys. It's just doing little jogs. Like, hey, what can I see myself actually fitting sustainably into my lifestyle? Okay, so find what that is for you, right? Don't be super maniacal about, hey, how intense is this? But the whole idea is we want to pick something that we can see ourselves sustaining, not just for a month, not for 3 months, not even just for a year, but for 10 years, right? 30 years, the rest of your life, right? Don't you want to be just like a fit person that just gets to reap all those rewards of just like being more toned, being leaner, right? Just like feeling radiant, having more confidence, right? That is the product of building these sustainable habits, not being so maniacal about the goal, right? But just saying, hey, what can I see myself doing for the rest of my life? And that's why I love finding what works for you, right? So for me, it's just going on a little jog on Riverwalk. Guys, the last part of the grip method, we've covered exercise, hypertrophy, and cardio, but now we got to talk about nutrition. Okay, so when it comes to nutrition, if you could only take away one thing from this video, nutrition-wise, it would be this: food is fuel, habits rule. Okay, so for example, my client Jim, well, he only made one switch and it literally helped him go from 260 pounds to 200 pounds and totally just melt the body fat off his body. And he had this mindset switch. Okay, it wasn't even like a tactical strategy. It was a mindset switch of changing from food is pleasure to food is fuel. Because literally, guys, like there's books on this topic. I know there's a book called Good Energy. I'll link that book in the description of the video. But it's literally like explains how food actually is like fuel on a cellular level. And like the food that you put in your body literally can transform your entire body, your energy, everything about you from a cellular level, right? Like when you put good quality fuel in your body, guys, like fruits, right? Like some bananas, okay, right? Some organic peanut butter, like real good quality foods, sweet potatoes, right? Real foods that come from the earth, right? Stay on the outside of the grocery store. Everything that's in the middle, all that processed shit, Gushers, Pop-Tarts, I'm telling you right now, you gotta draw your line in the sand. Like, no, that stuff is unacceptable. I don't care about, oh, 80-20, Jake. What about balance? You should not, your body does not deserve to be putting shit in your body. Okay, if you want to be a fit person, think about like the best version of you, the most fit version of you, right? Like imagine yourself with a six-pack, with radiant energy, confidence. Why would you want to disrespect that version of you and just put shit in your body? Be fair to your body. Like treat your body with the respect that it deserves. Like you have so much potential inside of you and you deserve to be fair to yourself. Actually treat yourself with respect. So stay on the outside of the grocery store, guys, right? Like put good quality foods in your body. That's number one. Okay, so let's call that food is fuel. Okay, well now you're saying, well, Jake, like, I don't even, okay, I get it. I should be fair to my body, put good quality fuel in my body. What is fuel? All right, I'll tell you what fuel is, okay? Really, there's a few things I'm looking for. One is I'm looking for clean ingredients. Okay, so we kind of talked about this a little bit, right? But staying on the outside of the grocery store. Stay out of the middle of the grocery store where there's all that processed junk food. Okay, we want to eat that real whole foods. Like a good rule of thumb is if it didn't come from the earth, if it didn't exist, 200 years ago, you shouldn't be putting it in your body today. So simple ingredients, guys, like high quality foods, avocados, right? Here's a little pro tip when it comes to shopping for avocados, guys. You want to kind of feel it around. If it's super hard, that means it's not ripe yet. It's not gonna taste good. So you kind of want to push your thumb in here, and what you're looking for, like this is too hard. It should have a little bit of give, okay? But it shouldn't be super mushy either. It should just be nice and supple. Give a little bit of give. Let's see. Yep, this is perfect. A little bit of give. This is a nice avocado. I would be getting this avocado. What you can do with this, guys, just cut it in half. Eat half of it every morning with your eggs. Best habit to start your day. Have an avocado, put the other half in the fridge, and then eat some eggs for breakfast. Start your day. That's one of the first productive habits I ever set. Changed my life. Eggs in the morning, protein, good quality fats, right? This stuff can change your life, guys. You can literally transform yourself from the inside out just by putting the right stuff in your body. Like, think of like a car. Would you put like shitty gas in your car? Or would you actually like put some good quality fuel in your car? You want it to run well. If you put like bad fuel in your car, it's not gonna run well. Right? So like follow me, guys. Okay, so clean ingredients, right? Like I'm not gonna be getting just like this overly processed bread that's got enriched flours. Like your bread should not have a million ingredients in there, enriched flours. Like keep it simple. If you're gonna get bread, you wanna get whatever bread. Look at this, look at the ingredients here. Organic whole wheat, simple. There's only a few ingredients. This bread would be great, okay? So you gotta always think about that. The less processed, the more simple, the better it is for your body, okay? I low-key like these a lot, okay? Why do I like these a lot? Look at the nutrition facts, guys. There's 0 added sugars. It's got simple ingredients, right? This is just like oats, a little bit of honey, right? These are solid, okay? Right, so that's number 1, clean ingredients. Number 2 is we wanna have what's called balanced macros. Okay, so macros, you need to understand there's 3 types of macronutrients: proteins, carbs, and fat. Okay, so ideally a great fuel when you're fueling your body and you're approaching nutrition from the grip method the right way, you're putting all of these different macros in your body, right? Which is proteins, carbs, and fats. So we already talked about a couple of different fats. For example, avocado, peanut butter. We talked about some carbs with like the wheat bread and the sweet potato, right? I'll show you guys some other great examples. Follow me, right? Like I personally like to eat a little bit of just like cheddar cheese. That's just me. This is like one of my weird quirks. I like to just eat a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese. I think it tastes good. It's like a little funky, right? And this is fine. These are like some pretty decent fats. All right. I also like to put a little bit of cheese just in my eggs. It tastes really good. Okay, that's one example. What I wouldn't do is put this dookie in my body. This will make me feel like complete shit. I'm gonna feel terrible after. Like people that are successful with their nutrition are motivated not just by how they feel before the meal, they're motivated by how they feel after a meal, right? So human beings, we like to repeat behaviors that feel good, right? So that's why you're probably in the habit of eating some junk food, because it feels pleasurable, good. But you know what else feels good? Is eating food that makes your body feel good, and you know that's aligned with your fitness goals. So you got to decide, hey, I want to feel good, but what kind of good do I want to pursue? Do I want to pursue like just that dopamine and that pleasure? Or I want to feel that gratification, that fulfillment, and that good, energetic, fueled feeling that comes from actually being fair to your body, right? So I'll show you guys another one. Yogurt is so good, guys, right? Like literally one of the things that I've been doing, I do this every single day, is I put Greek yogurt in my body. Look at this, guys. Super high in protein. There's just concentrated protein. It's nice, right? You can put half a scoop of protein powder in here, tiny bit of organic peanut butter, maybe a couple of rice cakes to add a little bit of crunch. It's great for you, super high quality protein. Okay, so we have good protein options. Some other good protein options would be just like, like real protein, like chicken, steak, ground beef, stuff like that. Okay, so guys, I don't want you coming in here and getting pub subs. Okay, that's not good for you, right? Be fair to yourself. A good sign if something is good for you is always evaluate. How do I feel after I finish eating that? If you feel like complete shit, then that's a good sign. That's your body telling you, hey, like, stop disrespecting me. Stop treating yourself for your current circumstances. Start treating yourself for who you're becoming. So if you want to become a fit, defined, toned, muscular, confident, radiant kind of person, start treating yourself that way. Even if you don't see those results yet, if you fuel yourself like how you would fuel yourself if you were fit, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna become fit. Okay, so treat yourself for your potential, not for your current shortcomings. Okay, follow me, guys. We'll go through a couple more. Okay, so clean ingredients, balanced macros. Each meal should hit what I call the protein goal. Okay, so the protein goal is I want at least 15 to 35 grams of protein in each meal. Okay, so if I'm gonna eat that Greek yogurt, for example, like that I showed you, that had 15 grams of protein, I'll add half a scoop of protein powder to round it out, or right around 30 grams of protein. If I eat 4 eggs, that'll put me right around 30 grams of protein, right? So I'm not gonna eat a meal if it has 0 grams of protein. I'm just looking for that nice range. I also don't need to eat like 80 grams of protein every time I eat food and just feel super bloated, right? Like just get that right in that range, right? And an idea that helped me a lot is like one time I heard, I don't know if this is exactly true, but I heard that your body only absorbs up to 35 grams of protein in one sitting. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, well, if I want to absorb protein as much as I can throughout the day, I'm gonna go for that 35 grams, but I'm gonna space it out multiple times throughout the day. So I started eating, instead of twice a day, I started eating 3 times a day, then 4 times a day, then 5 times a day. Now I hit that 35 grams every single time, and that's when I literally saw my body totally transform. I felt more energized. I started noting my muscles getting all lean, and I started building muscle, and it was awesome. Okay, so I'm always looking for that protein goal in each meal, clean ingredients, balanced macros, right? I'll show you guys a couple more examples. Also guys, real quick hack, if you're ever getting milk, I would prefer you get like this Fairlife milk. This has a lot more protein, it's a lot better, right? But don't go overboard on that. Follow me guys, let's go right here. You gotta be really careful with the granola, guys. A lot of these granolas have tons of added sugars in it. So if you go overboard on the granola, it can be doing more harm than good. So I would rather, if you're looking for something crunchy to put into your yogurt, just take a rice cake, crumple it up and put it in there, especially if you're on a fat loss journey. If you are gonna go for granola, just here and there to sprinkle it in. I like this brand, Purely Elizabeth. It's kind of like the lesser of evils. It tastes freaking delicious. No cereals, guys. Literally, this should not even exist on Earth. On the Optimized Island, there is gonna be nothing that looks like this. So if you wanna become an optimizer, you wanna come on the Optimized Island, you gotta be willing to part ways with this stuff, because this stuff was not made for your benefit. Okay, this stuff was invented by just people that are trying to take advantage of science. There's scientists that literally their only job is to get you addicted to junk food and to make it as enticing as possible. You're gonna be the victim to those scientists. You're gonna live your life just letting them defeat you, or you're gonna conquer them and start fueling your body like it was deserved to be fuel, right? You were not born to treat yourself with disrespect. You were born to fuel your body and feel that awesome energy that comes with it, okay? So none of that, but you can do some of this, guys. Just eating some oats. This is great. Take some oats, put a little bit, barely cover it in water, microwave it for 2 minutes. While it's hot, 1 tablespoon of organic peanut butter, scoop of protein powder, mix it up real good, top it with some banana, a little bit of honey, some cinnamon. Mwah, delicious. I eat that every single day. The yogurt, the eggs, the protein oatmeal, those are 3 staples that I eat every single day, always. I've been doing that for 5 years. Helped me build a bunch of muscle and get shredded. So I recommend those 3 meals. But let's talk a little bit about the last thing, guys, is it should be tasty. Okay, I don't want you eating food that like tastes terrible and you don't actually enjoy it. Like at the end of the day, it's good fuel, but good fuel that tastes good, right? So like you can fuel your body with tasty, delicious nutrition, okay? So don't think like, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm on a diet. It's not a diet, it's not eating healthy, right? It's just like fueling your body, right? And then couple more good protein examples, guys. Eggs, great protein. I love eggs, right? If you want to know a pro tactic when you're cooking eggs, put a little bit of cheddar cheese in there while it's cooking. It comes out really, really tasty. If you know, I like to cook eggs. Sometimes I'll do it low and slow. So low heat, slow mix. Sometimes I do the Gordon Ramsay style, where I kind of put a little bit of hotter pan, mix it really fast and get those small curds. Those are my favorite ways. I want you to become a master at cooking eggs. You tell me in the comments, what's your favorite way to cook eggs? And if you don't have a favorite way yet, take it on like this is a new craft. I want to see how good I can get at making eggs. If you can do that, I'm telling you, start your day with a quick win. No better way to start your day than boom, some nice nutritious eggs. Great way to start the day. Chicken, guys, great protein, right? Steaks, right? You don't have to like spend thousands of dollars. Like honestly, I spend 70 bucks a week. So what's that? 280 bucks a month on nutrition. right? You probably spend twice that just eating out. And I get to reap the rewards of like building muscle, feeling energized, right? You're probably feeling the opposite, like kind of lethargic, right? A little bit chunky, flabby, love handles. Guys, it's a no-brainer. Start fueling your body, right? So some steaks, some chicken, right? Ground beef. This stuff is all great, okay? So get your protein in, clean ingredients, balanced macros, hit your protein, and then tasty enough that you can see yourself doing it consistently. All right, so that's it for the nutrition, guys. So we talked about exercise, we talked about nutrition. So if you can do these two things, fuel your body, do some gritty reps, right? Do a little bit of sustainable cardio and then give it some time. I promise your life will never be the same. You will transform yourself from the inside out. And I see that for you. I really want you to reap these rewards because I know it's worth it. Changed my life completely. I know it can change your life too. So guys, you understand the process, you understand the grit method. I know it can be hard to do this stuff on your own, right? Like if getting fit was building a house, right? It's hard to just like build a house when you're by yourself. It's easier when you have some teammates, right? And it's hard when you're building with your bare hands. It's easier when you have some power tools to help you build. Okay, so that is literally what I do. Is literally my life mission to help people envision a new, better version of themselves that is fit, confident, muscular, energized, and then help them set simple habits in each of these 3 areas to turn their vision to reality. I've done it with so many guys like Jim, who went from 260 to 200 pounds. I told you about him earlier. My client Lee totally got shredded. He lives here in Tampa and he's super busy. Like he's building a house on Bayshore, but despite that, we still were able to set these habits and get him awesome results, right? Like my client Ricky, he's down from 300 pounds to 270 pounds doing this process. My client Justin went from like chunky, skinny, fat kind of look to now he's got a 6-pack. We do this process. Super sustainable. It's not just like a goal focus. Like if you're just looking for like, oh, I'm just gonna set a goal, like go on a grind so I can make a little bit of progress for in a couple months and then revert right back, this is not for you. I actually won't even accept you as a client, as an optimizer. But if you're ready to actually step into a new identity of a more fit version of you and just set simple habits to actually turn this into a sustainable lifestyle change for you, then go ahead, click down the link below. It's going to be to, set up a call with me and we're going to, talk through it together. I want to figure out exactly where you're at and what's going on, get an idea of actually what is that best version of you, and we'll come up with a good game plan to help you get there. So if that sounds like you, go ahead, click in that link. Let's set up a call and let's get it, guys. See you then.